Well, Jim, let's get another question here, and this is another popular topic that was sent in. I have a tweet here that was sent on Twitter using the hashtag CornyDriveThru. I had to add it because the person didn't originally put it there. Miguel Z sent this in. Have you seen the WWE Day 1 in Atlanta seat filler guidelines?
You know what? I'm glad you have that because I've seen people tweeting it, but even when I'm on a computer, because everybody knows I don't tweet on a smartphone because I don't have a smartphone and never shall, but I'm on a goddamn, this is a 21, 23-inch computer screen, and I clicked on the tweet, and the type was so small I couldn't read all of it. And I said, I'm sure if there's something I need to know, the cult will keep me apprised. So apparently there you have the information I need to know about this thing.
I have it here. It is small, but I think I could read it. So again, January 1st in Atlanta, the seat filler guidelines. As a seat filler, you will be expected to follow these guidelines. Your main purpose this evening is to assist the television production. In the event that a seat can be seen by a television viewer becomes empty, you will be instructed to occupy that seat. You will need to be in your seat 5 minutes prior to the start of the event. A World Wrestling...
Wait, hold on. Let me ask you this. Hold on here. Now, see, already they've given us some contradicting information.
Yeah.
If you see a seat that's empty, you're supposed to be in it. But then they say you're supposed to be in your seat 5 minutes before the broadcast. What if there's not an empty seat 5 minutes before the broadcast? And if they give the seat filler a seat and he sits in it, then when he gets up to sit in another seat that becomes empty, the seat filler's seat needs to be filled.
Well, forget about that. If there are a bunch of seat fillers, I'm assuming on the opposite side of the camera, waiting to see a seat open up, what if multiple seat fillers all rush for the same seat?
What if multiple seat fillers all rush for the same exit as the person that got out of that seat? Like to the one that Tony Storm took. These are things I think of. And also, is there guidelines on how wide the seat filler's ass can be?
Well, let's see. Here's the next one here in the guidelines. A World Wrestling Entertainment official will notify you when a seat becomes open. This is your sign to jump to action. You will be directed on where to sit. Remain in that seat until the new, quote, owner of the seat returns, or a WWE official instructs you to move to another location. This is like the Oscars. I mean,
well, yeah, that's
what the fuck is this?
People thinking, what the fuck's going on here? At like award shows and major television productions, they do that, where they have seat fillers like they're talking about that go and sit in somebody's. I think Kramer did it on Seinfeld one time also, at the it was the Broadway Awards, and then he got shuffled up on stage and took a Broadway award for himself. But anyway.
Oh my God, you know what?
Yep.
We didn't even think about the scenario that's coming next, and it's already making me laugh. It is important that you are polite to those around you. Keep in mind that the seat you are occupying probably belongs to a friend or family member of those around you. So imagine a seat opens up and you're surrounded by some guy's kids or something.
Well, besides that, what about if I'm sitting there with Stace and she says, I got to go take a piss? Okay, then I put my shit in her seat and wait for her to come back. If somebody tries to sit there, I go, no, motherfucker, I paid for that. If you want me to, I'll scooch over and I'll sit in both seats at the same time, but you ain't sitting your fucking ass down in my wife's seat. Hit the bricks. Go ahead.
Inform these people that you are only sitting in the seat until the person returns.
I have a feeling that would be brought up ahead of time. You wouldn't have to mention it. They'd be, hey, what the fuck are you trying to do, pal?
Yeah, the first word, can I help you?
Yeah.
Also, feel free to let them know that you are assisting the television production.
Yeah, we don't care.
Let these folks know that they are in a prime television view, and keeping the seats occupied is important.
That's why we bought these tickets, because they were in television view, not for your jughead, pal.
Once the ticket holder returns, quickly look at the seats surrounding the once empty seat to see if another seat needs to be occupied. If you see another empty seat, then sit in it. It's like musical chairs.
If you see a small child, pull that child out of that seat and occupy it and put the child back on your lap.
Well, this is interesting. Feel free to bring your sign with you. If you are sitting in a seat that has another empty seat next to you, then use your sign to cover that chair.
What?
That way you can cover 2 seats at once. There's a lot of questions there with that one.
A lot of empty seats.
Are they giving people signs?
I don't know.
If you have a sign, bring it and use it to cover the other empty seat. Are there people being given signs and told to sit in seats and use the sign as a prop?
Well, then also that would need to be a sign that was fairly straight up and down instead of a cross.
Yeah, exactly. How does that work?
Elsewise, you'd be laying across 2 or 3 seats.
Is that an empty seat? No. It's a sign.
It's a seat for my sign. Hey, they sell airline seats to dogs.
That's true.
So
they should do
sell
dogs.
a seat to a sign.
If the WWE had dog seat fillers, it would get so much attention.
How about this? If AEW had a special price for just signs, like you could get a ticket for $10, or you can get a ticket for yourself and a ticket for your sign for $15.
Refrain from having too many alcoholic beverages. The last thing we need is an intoxicated seat filler. If we determine that you are visibly intoxicated, you'll be ejected from the arena.
Wait, they have to be able, they're going to wait long enough where they can see you falling over and staggering.
Yeah, by the way, if you're hiring someone for something like this, wouldn't it be, listen, just don't drink for the next few hours?
Well, yeah, don't get staggering drunk so it's visibly obvious to us, but otherwise do some fucking black tar heroin, just have a fine old time. We won't notice.
It's kind of like the backstage
I think
policy.
it would be no alcoholic beverages or controlled substances are allowed while you're on duty.
We cannot guarantee that you and your friends
Your safety.
we cannot guarantee that you and your friends will always be able to stick together. You may be asked to sit in seats separate from your party. You must be willing to sit apart from your friends for periods of time. This is why no one under the age of 18 is allowed to be a seat filler. They must be willing and able to be apart from their friends and parents. So WWE wants to take you away from everyone you know and love to put you in a seat.
Away from your loved ones and stick you in somebody else's seat.
In some instances, you might not be called upon to move into empty seats. If that happens, just sit back and enjoy the show. You can take pictures of the event for your own personal use. You can also post them to your social media accounts if you want. However, we ask that you refrain from mentioning that you were a seat filler. That you are a seat filler. We do not want the general public knowing that we use seat fillers. No videotaping whatsoever.
Hold on, wait a minute. Record scratch. Hold on, Brian, should we continue? Are we letting a cat out of the bag here?
I hate to break kayfabe on this, but...
We got 1 million people out there now that have just heard some secretive information that they might not be trusted with.
At some point in the night, you may be asked to move quickly and or climb stairs. If you have any kind of physical impairment that might hinder your mobility, for instance, asthma, bad knees, etc., please let us know before accepting this invitation.
What were those activities they may be required to do?
Move quickly or climb stairs.
Okay. If they're in a goddamn sports arena, they've probably navigated some stairs to begin with. And move quick. And then also stick your hands in your pockets, jump up and down, and scream like a chicken. You'll be asked to do that also.
That was the final guideline here for potential seat fillers in Atlanta. So...
Boy, I'm glad that wasn't Philadelphia. Can you imagine the people in Philly? Fucking... Snooki gets up to go to get another beer and leaves the rest of her Jersey crew, and in wanders Putz McGee to sit in her seat. And, well, goddamn, there's mayhem from that moment on.
So when you hear this, do you think Bischoff had it right or wrong when he started paying models to sit in center stage in Atlanta? Because he didn't have to worry about them filling the seats. They were paid to be there.
Well, no, and he was a complete idiot. because I guess a lot of people don't even know what you just referred to, but in the mid-90s, WCW did the Saturday Night TV at Center Stage in Atlanta, the theater there. Ring of Honor's been there. A number of wrestling promotions been there since. And when they first started going there, they were filling the place up because, it was free admission, just like the TV tapings at Techwood, but it could hold 700 or 800 people, so it looked better. But it's free admission, and all the fans are coming, and the shows were good, and everybody was loving it. It was a great atmosphere. And then as 92 and 93 and 94 drug on and around, and the shows weren't so good anymore, and the people had got used to them being there all the time, the crowds, they would still come, but it primarily got to be kids from downtown. It was free babysitting, like a lot of wrestling TV tapings have been over the course of time. And so Bischoff, instead of doing different advertising or going and getting some groups to, give them group tickets and bring in the Cub Scouts or the sports team from a local high school or underprivileged kids or whatever, because they had too many little black kids running around at Center Stage on camera, he went completely the opposite direction and started hiring professional models that looked like professional models to sit in the front seats on camera to give people the impression that these high-class women were going to the wrestling matches. So the problem was you still had 745 other people in the goddamn arena that looked like they just came from downtown Atlanta to watch the wrestling. And here's these 5 bimbos that look like that they came in to audition for a commercial. And so they stood out like a sore thumb and everybody knew what was going on. And it was just a waste of money. That's what you were talking about, wasn't it?
That was exactly what I was talking about in Atlanta. Same place where they're doing these seat fillers for day one, although I'm sure this is not the only show they're using seat fillers for.
Hey, we never had seat fillers. We never paid anybody to be a seat filler. Every TV I've ever done, if somebody hadn't got there by the time the show started I would just say, go out and tell somebody to fucking move over into camera range and sit in those seats till somebody else shows up. And then if they didn't want to move, then we would say, well, here's the thing. We ain't going to start the show until somebody moves into them seats. And then somebody would straggle over there. And then off we go.
Do you think some of the young wrestlers getting involved in wrestling in the years to come will be amazed that back in the day you guys sold tickets?
Probably. Actually, now that you think about it, it will probably be a shock to them. They'll be like, wow, people actually used to come out and see this live and pay to do it.